You are listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions, the tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This should be played at high volume.
You ain't got the answers.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, what's poppin'? It's your boy Swift.
It's Young Joshua.
This is
Surface.
This your man K-Drama.
This is the Amazing SB, and you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
You are now listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast with my man Marv. With my homie Marv.
With my homie Marv. With my man Marv from OB.
I'm a Marv from O Beats, baby, yeah. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Yo, what up? It's your boy Marv from O Beats. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff, you dig? How y'all doing for this Tuesday afternoon? Man, we've been getting a lot of rain out here in Texas, but glory be to God, I think it's clearing all up, man. It was good while we had it, but it's definitely time for the rain to ride out, man. Keep those in Louisiana in prayer, man, because they still dealing with some of the after effects from the flood, man. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. We got a great show lined up. We are talking sound design. Man. We're talking about this big phenomenon in Producerville today, man. You got producers that are creating their own sounds, man. You got producers like Frank Dukes, Ill Minds, S1, Havoc, Night Wonder, you know what I'm saying? You got Shrooms. You got all these producers, man, that are creating these sounds, man. Sampling is something that we do as producers, but now, man, we in turn the tables to where, man, we're creating our own sound, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. And today we have Timbaland's personal sound designer, no other than my homie, the SoundOracle. He's going to be on the show, man, and he's going to just be chopping it up with us, letting us know how he got started, how he connected with Timbaland, and why did he get into sound designing, man. So we got a great show lined up. Before we go any further, I can't start without doing the scripture, and the scripture is coming from Proverbs 22:29, and it reads, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." A man or woman who is skillful in his or her work will not go unnoticed by the Lord. Let me just start off by saying all creativity comes from God. All right? Just to have a skill is one thing, but to use it in their work is altogether different. And those that have such creative skills will be noticed by God. He will not stand before obscure men, meaning that they will be noticed by those in the world as well. A talent that is buried is unless but a skill that is utilized, displays the glory of God, who gives to all those special abilities, talents, and creative skills. Whew. The gifts and calling of God are without repentance, man. Like, God gives, us these certain abilities to create, you know what I'm saying? It amazes me how God give us this, give man the ability to do things. Just relating that to what we do as producers, I think is mind blowing. The things that SoundOracle has the ability to do, to sit down and come up with these loops, and these producers come out with these authentic samples that, that sound, that has that sound and that feel that we're looking for. That is a skill to do, man. And just like you said, man, he said that God's going to be able to, he's going to be able to stand, you're going to stand before kings, not just regular people that are, that makes noise in the industry, And the thing is, God, he gives us the abilities because he wanted to ultimately be for the glory of him. Now, understanding that some cats, man, they take the gifts and they don't use it for the glory of God, but at the end of the day, that's the reason he gives us those gifts, man. So I hope you're encouraged by that, man. Don't think that you're a weirdo because you may hear things in another way. It's just something that God has put in you. And that scripture was Proverbs chapter 22, verses 29. This show has been brought to you by sacredapparel.net. The homie Twink and them, they always going in with the teas. Another creative brother that is always coming up with that fire. You need to check them out, man. sacredapparel.net. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? In about a few minutes, we're going to have my man SoundOracle on the show, and we're going to get it in. Yeah.
You are listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
We are the plug for producers. The ShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?
Yes, sir. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? I am your boy Mar from Beats, and we are talking about sound design. We're talking about how it has became this big deal, man. Producers, hip hop is based on sampling and stuff, but as the years have passed, man, you see a lot of producers, getting into sound design, and you got Illminds, you got Frank Dukes, you got scores of producers that are coming out with drum kits. You got S1 got kids, just a gang of producers are coming out with kits these days. They coming up with their own sounds and stuff. And we as producers, we benefit from them because we ain't got to worry about getting the samples cleared, you dig? So that's the beauty of it. And today, man, I am honored to have this gentleman on the show. I know you've definitely heard some of his loops and his production and his kits and a lot of music that's on the radio. He's Timbaland's personal sound designer, and I would like to welcome my homie SoundOracle to the show. What up, bruh?
What's happening, man? Great to see you.
Man, appreciate you taking the time out to get up with me, man. I know you know, like I say, man, you being Timbaland's sound designer, man, I know you're always on the move, so I appreciate you just taking a few minutes of your time to get up with a brother.
No problem, man. No problem.
All right, so, man, real quick before we get into all these questions that I have, would you please tell the listeners who you are and what you do?
For sure. I'm SoundOracle. I'm a producer. I'm a sound designer. I'm also Timbaland's personal sound designer. And just an overall lover of music, man, and sound. You know, it's just been something I've been into since I had memories. So,
wow.
It's just a pleasure to be doing it.
Wow. And man, I follow you on Instagram, and just looking at when I'm looking at your videos, dog, you can tell it's something that you love doing. Like, man, you got this little gadget that where you like wave your hand over that mug.
Yeah.
And I get people DM me because I do. I guess people be thinking that I know a lot of stuff because I do reviews for Machine Masters, and people. I've had about 3-4 people DM me. It was like, yo, man, you be checking. Have you ever seen SoundOracle and that thing that he be using sliding his hand? And I was like, dog, I don't know, man, but that mug is cold.
Man, I definitely appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, and I just love to see the passion that you have when you're posting your vids, dog. For real.
Man, it's there. I was gonna say, man, you know it's there. Like you said, you can tell I'm just enjoying it because that's what I'm in my element in my world,
Right. Man, how long have you been producing, bro?
Oh man, I feel like I've been producing for about 86 years.
Wow.
But in actuality, it's probably been about 13 or 14 years.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. It's been a minute.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's what's up. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I was expecting to say I was thinking you were gonna say a little longer, man. So it's 13 years, man. I'm like, wow, okay, that is a decade, but I'm thinking maybe 15. I'm thinking 20, 15 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's see. And now, if you're in the mood to do some math, let's see. I think I started producing what I would consider producing probably around, I guess it would be like 98.
Okay.
Something like that. Okay. So, yeah. Whatever the math is on that.
Yeah, that'll be 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
So you close to 20. Yeah, that's what's up, man. How did you get into sound designing?
Man, funny enough, I got into it, really it started as just a habit. Before there was, a such thing as sound designer as we know it.
Right.
I would just make beats. I like to make a whole lot of beats. And I just needed more and more sounds to make the beats.
Right.
And I'm kind of ADD when it comes to organization of sounds. So I looked back a couple years, and I just had this huge library of sounds, and it was all broken down into, different categories. And even then, it still wasn't sound design, and it wasn't until I got with Polo that I actually became a sound designer in the sense of a job or a career.
I guess this is a segue into this question. Did you meet Timbaland through Polo then? Would that be safe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So how did that first encounter come about?
With Polo or Tim?
Let's do with Polo. Let's do with Polo, then we do with Tim. Let's just kind of keep it in order.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep this as condensed as possible.
Okay. All right.
But, I used to live in Baltimore.
Right.
And, it just wasn't a place that I felt that I could thrive. And one day, a friend of mine was like, you should move down here to Atlanta. And I really wasn't trying to go. But then my girl at the time was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Mm-hmm. I think we should go. So we ended up coming down with nothing, pretty much nothing. Just came to Atlanta. I went around to all the studios, knocked on the doors, asked people to listen to my stuff. Mm-hmm. And after a long period of time, Polo is the first person that actually agreed to meet with me.
Okay.
So I came in and I played him a whole bunch of tracks. I think at the time he was working with Rich Boy. Uh-huh. And he's like, man, these tracks are crazy. Let's do some stuff with Rich. And he's like, where'd you get these sounds from and these drums? And I'm like, oh, I made them or I collected them. He's like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, here, let me show you. And after that, he was like, yo, can you do this for me? And I was like, let's go. Mm-hmm. And that's how that happened. That's how I met Polo.
Wow. Okay. So meeting Polo, working with him, you meet, then eventually you met Tim. How did that come about?
That came about because Polo ended up going to California for a long stretch. Mm-hmm. And he was like, so I was just going out there working with him. And one day I was telling this story in the studio. Something funny happened to me on the plane on the way out there. And he's like, "Oh, you got to tell my man the story." So we go in the kitchen, and it turns out it was Tim. So I'm telling the story, and we all laugh, and we go back in the studio. And Polo's playing music, and, it got some new sounds and stuff. And then Tim is like, "Hey, what's going on there? What what's happening?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, this dude right here." And then Tim called me the next day and was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you are really doing for him, but I need you to do it for me, like, forever." So that's how I met Tim.
Wow, man. Now, that is crazy. Were you expecting that, bro?
No, not at all. I was just happy to, meet Tim. It's
Right.
just like Polo. I was fans of both of theirs.
Exactly.
Just from a producer standpoint. So I definitely was not expecting that call.
Wow, that's what's up, man. And I tell you, man, even Timbaland, man, he's so creative.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like he's, I read his book. Well, I did the audio book, and I think I did that joint in like 2 days straight. I listened to the joint 2 days straight, bro. It was so much in there. Being the producer that Timbaland, Timbaland being the producer that he is, did you ever feel like, was there ever a thought like, man, did you feel a little intimidation, or, man, am I going to be able to be up to par with these joints, or was because he was listening to your stuff, he was like, oh, man, I need that, and you kind of felt comfortable? How was it, man? Was you nervous, or was you just like, man, let's get it, or what?
Man, no, I wasn't nervous for a second. Not for a split second, because just being a fan of Tim's since he first came on the scene,
right?
And he would do different things or use different things, and I'm like, oh, I understand that,
right?
Or I know what that is, or where that's from.
Wow.
So
wow.
I was like, and I like to call myself eclectic when it comes to sounds and the type of ideas I do.
Right.
So I'm like, if there's anybody in the world that's going to understand the stuff that I have, it's going to be that guy right there. Wow. I didn't know how I was going to meet him, or if I was ever going to meet him. But the second I did, I was like, buddy, I've been looking for you for a minute. Check this out. Hey,
wow.
It was on, man.
Wow, that's what's up, man. Do you consider yourself to be an introvert, bro?
Definitely.
Yeah. And most producers are introverts, man. I think we feel comfortable and at peace when we're in our. If you leave it up to my wife, she would say my studio is like a little junk room. But I mean, I can, it's just, this is my environment, man. Being an introvert that you are, do you find yourself, I guess, being secluded? Do you find yourself at, how can I word this? I'm trying, well, you know what? Let me just ask the question. What is your process in creating? What is your process in creating sounds? Because, I mean, you're already introvert, so you're already secluded by yourself. So what does that process look like for you when you're in your studio?
Well, the process in the studio is one thing, but it really, a lot of it starts before that. I'm always recording stuff, whether I'm like out in the world or just I have certain places that I know have good sounds, whether they're in this state or another. So it starts there, but once I get into the studio, it's all environment, man. It's the vibe. It's lights. If you see my Instagram, you know I'm big on the lights.
Yeah, dog. You do be popping the lights, bro. Look, I was like, I got fluorescent lights in here, so I couldn't do like the red, blue lights.
Well, the thing is too, not to get too off topic.
Yeah.
But I like to do a bit of like biohacking, just like experiments. And it said that blue light is better for the creative process.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I tried that out, and it's just something about the lights that gives a different vibe. But anyway, actually getting into the sound,
right?
It is really a free for all. A lot of times, like even if you see my videos, it's just a lot of pressing pressing buttons and just trying whatever comes to mind, and then waiting for that moment. And you know, I like to have a lot of stuff loaded up, a lot of things on my fingertips.
Yeah.
And really just go ham, and then you'll have those moments like that spark, like, oh, that's super dope, or boom, that patch or that loop or those drums or whatever, that's super dope. And you just repeat the process, and you keep getting those sparks, and that's how you build up that library.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's my process.
Yeah. And you know, and I guess everybody's different, you know what I'm saying, just on you know, how they do things, man. And like going back to your Instagram, dog, you got the Ableton push loaded, you got the MPC controller, you got the machine, and then but you be working them joints all at one time, and I'd be like, man.
Yeah, that's man, just coming from a hardware background. That's where that comes from. And what I tell people, because people always ask me, like, well, why do you have all that stuff, or do you need all those things to make what you make? And the answer is absolutely not. You know, you got a laptop, you're straight. But I just like having a physical representation of each of my tracks in a hardware form. So, like, you know, the machine will be on the track, the MP will be on the track, the push will be on the track. And I like to play more than one thing at a time. And traditionally, you have one track on, you can only play one instrument at one time, then you layer on that instrument. But I come up with ideas that if I can simultaneously just play different things at the same time.
Wow. Like that joint, like you posted a pic yesterday, the joint where you had like them, you had some chords on there. I was like, man, I sure need to get my hands on just 12 seconds of that chord. That's all I need. I just need 12 seconds. I can lay everything else on the pad.
You know what? A lot of people hit me about that, and I'm probably gonna make a chord.
Okay.
And I'll put those in there.
Well, I'm so glad I work for MachineMaster.com. Shout out to MachineMaster.com.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be there. You know
Yeah. And then I get to test drive it, you know what I'm saying, to make all the other producers mad before it even hit the market, you dig? So
yeah, man. Yeah.
So I am geeked about that, for real. Man, bro, why is sound design such a big phenomenon these days? Like, even when I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, man, you know, you got Illmind, you got S1. Like, a lot of producers are coming out with sounds, you know. I'm a big fan of Frank Dukes. I think between you, Frank Dukes, and Siege Monstrosity, y'all got to be in illegal productions, illegal productions. They got to be. And no, see, I'm lying. Is you, Frank Dukes, Siege Monstrosity, Illegal, Boone Mayfield, and Hellfire UAD drums. They got to be my favorite 6 kits. Those y'all stuff is like my go-to kits when I'm working. So, but why is it such a big thing these days, man? Because back in the day, man, it was taboo to use loops. Man, people would be like, "Yo, man, you're not no producer using loops and stuff." Why is it such a big thing these days, man? And and before you answer, man, I could never understand why dudes would kind of shy away from them. I've always used loops. They really definitely been they really help me to build stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a fluent player. Yeah. I'm a drummer by nature, but I can't play keys and stuff. So, if I hear fire piano loop or fire synth loop, man, I have the capability to use that joint and then build off it. But, back in the day, man, you couldn't tell somebody that you use loops and they wouldn't think you was a producer. Why is it such a big thing these days, bro?
Man, well, those are 2 big topics to tackle. The first with the loops thing. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that should be taboo. If you want to use a loop, well, a lot of people don't use them. They chop them.
Right.
That's the thing. People are like, well, you got a loop, you got to chop it.
Right.
Some people don't care. They just want to use the loop straight.
Right.
Me, I really don't care either way. I'm like, what does it take for you to get the best result out of what you have to the best of your ability? I don't care if it's you doing nothing and just adding a bunch of stuff on top of it to make it super dope, or you chop it to a million pieces. It's all about the end result, because when people listen to the music you make, the consumer is not going to be like, oh, you used a loop. I'm not listening to the song. They go, is the song jamming or is the song not jamming? And that's the goal. That's what you're thinking about.
Right.
As far as other producers, and I used to be of that mindset back when I was younger. You know, even when I was sampling for vinyl a lot, I'm like, yo, you gotta use the vinyl, and you don't sample the reissues. You gotta get the original. And I paid my dues in that realm.
Right.
So now, as I got older, I'm just like, it's all about the best result, man. So loops, use them, chop them, whatever you want to do with them. Anything goes.
Man, how does it feel to hear your loops, to hear your kits, your percussion loops and stuff played on the radio, man? I mean, do you ever just pop on the radio and be like, yo, I made that percussion loop?
No, I don't do that, but my friends and people will call me.
Really?
Or whatever. Yeah, and it's cool, man, because you never really think about, you know, everybody when they're a kid, they're like, I want to hear my song on the radio, but I never thought as far as to the sounds that make the song are mine on the radio. Right. It's just a level deeper than I imagined as a kid, man. But it's great. It's a super great feeling. I'm just happy that people are feeling the vibe, and I hope I'm making music better by providing these types of sounds.
Right. Well, yeah, Doug. Like, you definitely got some fire stuff, man. For real.
Appreciate it,
man. What is the one piece of equipment that you just can't do without in your studio, bro?
Currently, because I always change my favorite at the time. But my favorite, it has been for a minute, it has to be the push. Push.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And but the thing is, people ask me about the push, and it's like, yeah, you can love the push, but you got to love able to love the push. And that's a whole nother story, right there.
Right. And man, I had Ableton 8 live for a while. I mean, for a long time, man. I just could never. I guess I never did. Just settle myself to get into it, man. But Ableton, man. Every time you look up, you know what I'm saying, that's the go-to software. You know what I'm saying? Ableton Push. Machine is reigning second, then the MPC. But back in the day, the MPC was killing it all.
I tell you one thing though, I'm an MPC guy. When I started, like I said, what I consider real production was when I got a MPC 2000, a regular 2000, not even an XL, just a regular joint. And they were definitely straight killing the game. Now it's a lot of competition, but I got the touch, the MPC touch, and I like it a lot better than I thought I would.
Really?
I would say that.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been using the Ren a little bit because it reminded me of the old thing, but it came a point, and a lot of people missed it, where companies were going for nostalgia, especially Akai was going for the nostalgic feel, because MPC users were used to that feel. But the other companies kind of took it to the future, and that became not the thing to do. So now that they've crossed over into the LCD display and touchscreen and all that, it's pretty dope. In most of my videos, my last videos, you'll see me using the push and the touch together.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. So you're using the touch, but the push is your must-have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Man, you know what, dog? I have Logic and I got Cubase and got Reasons 8.5. But man, if that question was asked me, one piece of equipment that I would have to have my iPad, because I do a lot of beat making on my iPad, man.
You are a beat maker too connoisseur. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. I bleed beat maker.
Well, that's not bad blood to bleed, because I've had my run-ins with beat maker, and It is a super dope program, especially for on the iPad. I was making control surfaces on the iPad, and it came a stretch where probably for 2 months I was strictly beat maker.
Right, and man, I've been using this software. I want to say almost about 4 years. And what happened? My iPad went out, so. I was down for a minute, then I had the iPad mini, but then I was able to get my iPad 2 back fixed. Once I got that once I was able to get that joint fixed, what I did, I think around May of last year, no, it was, because what I was using my son's iPad mini. So from May last year, I said, I'm going to back off of Logic and off my Cubase and Reasons, and I'm going to force myself to use Beatmaker. And man, I am so confident with this joint, dog. Like, I would literally, if I would have to travel to someone's studio, this is all I would bring. I have all my sounds, I have all my drum kits. I even got a stand built for this joint to sit up like an MPC.
That's dope. That's how you know you love it. Once you start copping the accessories or customizing, you know you love it.
Yeah, man.
But that's good.
Yeah, man. Look, I was at I stand at B Camp Dallas on the behalf of MachineMasters.com, and man, people were tripping out, bro, that I was using my iPad like an MPC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, that's the beautiful thing about technology, bro. Man.
Listen, I don't know if you know, but a lot of people know I'm a technology buff. I love.
Yeah.
I'm really into tech. So I was happy when the iPads and the touch things of the world caught up to the music beat making world.
Right.
And the folks that make beat maker, they did it right. And I'm happy to hear that you found your tool. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people out there, they're using something, but I'm like, experiment. Go around if you can, because there's going to be something that just clicks with your workflow and how you like to make things happen, and you'll be in love.
Right. And man, and I still, even when I have to do reviews for the website, you know what I'm saying, I have to use my machine. I'm savvy with machine, you know what I'm saying? I just love, making beats on my iPad, man. And, I know the one thing I don't like about Beatmaker as a company, their social game is not up to par. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know they got the version 3 coming out. They supposed to be talking about it soon, but we ain't heard nothing yet. But man, I know this. I know this Beatmaker app. The ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just love it that I'm able to take it with me. Me and my family, we went on vacation. I was able to take it with me. It's just, I can stick it in my bag, pull it out, you know what I'm saying, and get to work, man. That's just a piece of equipment that I couldn't do without. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that is the one thing you are definitely winning in the portability game. Because if you use an iPad to make music exclusively, man, you on deck almost anywhere. And it's great. And when they linked up with Dropbox, I was like, now it's on.
And then you also can, and see, I use Dropbox, but I do a lot of FTP. You know what I'm saying? My iMac here, so I just, open up the FTP file and drop all my files in that joint, man, and be gone. You did. Actually, bro, just share a little secret with you. I'm recording the interview on my iPad using Cubase.
Nice.
Yeah. So I do all my editing and everything, right there, man. So I love it, dog. I love the portability, the mobility, man, just to be able to, not have to be hauling stuff around.
Right.
Real quick, bro. Now you work with Tim, you doing all these kits. What made you decide to bring the SoundOracle kits to the masses?
It was a lot of people just asking me for drums, And like I go places, and especially once I start working with Tim, and people are like, man, can I get some sounds? How can I get some sounds? And I wasn't into it. Like, I'm like, nah, I don't want to sell any sounds. And, you know, and it just became such of a thing over, like, it took me like 5 years to finally be like, all right, let me put together something for people, just the people that asked me. And it just kind of spread from there. And it was also a thing, it was a business challenge. Somebody I know was, you know, they kind of going through hard times, and I'm encouraging them to start a business. And I was like, listen, I'll do one too. I'll do a business too, just so you're not doing it by yourself. We go through this together. And I actually started the next day. It just so happened all those things happened at the same time, and that's how I started selling sounds.
Wow. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy, man. So we got Oracle loops, 1, 2, 3. We got the 808 joints. What is next? What's next, dog? Can you let the cat out the bag?
Not really, but just keeping it real with you, Mark. No. What I can do, because I have a lot of options. I'm sitting on a lot of stuff right now. And I think I want to ask the people, find out what the people want next, because I have options right now. So it's really about what the people want and what they feel that they need. You know, we could go anywhere that they want to go with it.
Wow. Well, listeners, y'all hear that? Hit SoundOracle up on Instagram, his Twitter. Tell him what you want to hear. He's trying to he want to feed the streets, and he want to hear from the people. So those that are listening, hit him up, man. Hit him up and tell him, what do you need?
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Hit me up,
bro. Real quick, man. What advice would you give a producer that wants to get into sound design? I mean, what would you tell them? You know what I'm saying? You know, starting out, you know, what would you tell a brother or sister?
Yeah, honestly, before anything technical, I'd just be like, make sure you're doing it for the right reason. Make sure you're doing it to add value to a community of producers and music makers. Don't get into it because it's a fad, because you see your homeboy doing it. You should really love it, and you should really want to help people.
Right.
You know. But it's not the thing to do. You think you're going to make a couple dollars or whatever, because you're going to treat it like that. Your sounds are going to sound like that. And then you're going to be recycling stuff. And nobody wants to pay for what they already got.
Right. And, bruh, and one thing for sure, producers can tell when you stole somebody's sound.
Yep.
And, boy, you do not want to have that reputation as a sound designer. I would imagine you would not want to have that reputation.
No, you really shouldn't. And a lot of people are just throwing together stuff that everybody already has. Like, it's nothing unique about it. It should be like hip hop was like a long time ago. Everybody has their own style, has their own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't keep giving people the same trap guns that was in the free pack.
Right.
You know, from 2 years. Like, come on, man. That's
right.
Cool.
Right. We know that's a Lex Luger. We know that's a Lex Luger kit, a drum kit right there. We do not need to hear that again.
Exactly. Plus, you should have a sound, man. People should hear stuff and be like, damn, that's from you, or yeah, that's me, or that's homeboy over there. Like, everybody should have like their own identity.
Right. Right.
And that's going to make you make a quality product.
Right. And you know, and that's why, dog, like my top six kits, everything is every kit is different. You know what I'm saying? If it's your joints, or if it's Booney joints, or if it's the Hellfire joints, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's why I go to. That's why I personally have all of those kits. I have those 6 kits in one folder by themselves. Now I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but those 6 kits, and I got go to. That's my go-to kit. My go-to.
Well, see, that's the thing. Go-to drone. And by the way, that puts me in really good company, man. Shout out to all them dudes because they all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dog. You know, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was a little starstruck when Booney. I was using. I was checking out. Well, the Booney Tunes 4 came out. And I was test driving it. So, I posted up on Instagram, and people was like, man, is Booney Tunes 4 coming out? And for him to come on that joint and compliment and shout me out, man, he was like, he was like, man, fire. I was like, Booney. I said, man, I appreciate that coming from you. He said, dog, all the stuff I heard you use from me, it be fire. So hey, bro, I was very humble, but I was like, man, that made me feel real good, dog, for real.
Nah, that's great. That's great on both of y'all parts. Number one, on you for knowing how to make it sound fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And putting it out there and spreading the word about something good that you got. And good for him for getting in contact with you and giving you his opinion or just to big you up. Yeah. I think that's very important, man. I at least take a small bit of time throughout the day, no matter what day it is, to just randomly look at other producers and big them up, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Hey, dog. Hey, bro. That be encouraging, bro. Even when I see you stop by my page, I be like, man, he really paying attention, man. That makes. That encourages me. Like, yo, man. Like this Timbaland sound designer, man. He give me a like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm out there, man. Anybody I see working to make their music better, and I see you on it all the time, I'm definitely I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna tell you, hey, man, look, keep going, whatever.
Right.
Especially if you shout me out or using some of my stuff. Oh man, I'm gonna throw some fireworks at you and all that stuff.
Hey, man.
But it's important to get with the people, right? And that's what you're doing it for.
And bro, and that's the epitome of community. You know what I'm saying? That's the epitome of the community, man. And I mean, I'm so big on the producer community, so stuff like that, man, that really touched my heart, bro. Because for you to take the time out to say, hey, bro, I see you, you're doing good, man. You never know how that's encouraging, this producer that's probably always down in his stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, got to be able to take constructive criticism at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But
it definitely comes with the game.
Yeah. So it is definitely encouraging when guys like yourself, man, send a shout out. Hey, bro, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing it, man. That's what community is all about. SoundOracle, bro, man, I could go on and on and on, but this interview is only 45 minutes, dog. But man, is there anything you want to say? Any last thing? Anything you want to let the listeners know, or whatever?
Hey, all I can say is keep striving to make better music. Whether you're a producer, whether you're a sound designer, it's all about the musical community, experimenting, bettering yourself, bigging up your fellow producer, and just keeping the community alive. If anybody wants to know anything else about me, you could go to my site, SoundOracle.net, or follow me on Instagram to really get a snapshot of everything I'm about. I'm at SoundOracle on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere.
And there you have it. SoundOracle, man, thank you for coming on the show, bro.
Man, it's been a pleasure, brother. Definitely.
Man. I'm telling you, dog. I think people are going to be really encouraged, with this interview, man, because I know a lot of dudes that are, I know a couple of cats, man, are really getting into the whole sound designing thing, man. So I think this is definitely going to be very informative to the community, bro. So I appreciate you coming on, dog.
No doubt, brother. You gotta do it again.
Yes, sir. And you've been listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff, you dig?
We are the plug for producers. The ShowLab Producer Podcast.
Yeah.
This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions. The tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?